Hey guys, welcome into Faith in Football. My name is Neil, and as always, I'm your host. So, what are we talking about today? Well, today we're talking about the identity of your team, but more importantly, your identity. Now, I'm going to put a link down at the bottom, and it just so happened that my pastor's sermon on Sunday was already my message for today, my comparison from football and your faith. So I'm going to put a link to his sermon, Who's That in the Mirror, from OSC Connect, Pastor Jamie Tyler, down at the bottom. Make sure that if you're watching this video, you click the link and go listen to that sermon. It's coming from somebody who knows a whole lot more of the Bible than I do, and someone that I respect greatly. So, what are we talking about? Now, we're going to be getting into a whole lot today. We're going to be getting into trades. We're going to be getting into comparisons for this week, matchups, things like that. But I want to ask you this. Do you remember when you were a little kid and you thought that you were this, and then you look back and go, what happened to that kid? Well, that was your identity as a kid then. Well, your identity changes, just like your team's identity changes from what you drafted on draft day to now. We're going into week 11, and we're making the home stretch to the playoffs. So your team's changed, and whether it's from injury or performance or what have you, it's a different look right now than it was back then. Same thing with you. Back then, you were a different look than you are now. Things have happened to you. You become the man or woman that you are now because of what's happened to you in your past. But what are we in God's eyes? See, in Romans 3:23, it says that we have all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So we're all sinners. So that's an identity. You're identified as a sinner because all have sinned. We're all the same. Every single person has sinned and fallen short of God's glory, which is perfection. God is perfect. Jesus was the only man, because he was God who became man and walked on this earth. He's the only one who's ever been perfect. Okay. Not to say that he wasn't tested, not to say that there weren't struggles, not to say that there weren't temptations, because the Bible tells us that there were, but he never gave in to them. You and I have given in at some point in time, regardless of what it is. You've given into that thought, you've given into that action, you've given into that speech where you've spoken death instead of life onto someone, or even yourself. So we're all sinners. So what are we now? If you're a believer, the Bible tells us in you go to Romans chapter 8, so a few chapters down, verse 14, it says, for all who are led by the Spirit of God are children of God. So we're God's children, because it says later on in verse 15, it says that he adopted you as his own children. Now we call him Abba, Father. If you go down to verse 17, same chapter, it says, and since we are his children, we are his heirs. In fact, together with Christ, we are heirs in God's glory. But if we are to share in his glory, we must also share in his suffering. See, there's going to be problems, there's going to be issues, there's going to be difficulties and challenges in your life. But that's okay, because God's right here. He's right next to you. He's with you. He's leading you. He's guiding you. He's standing beside you, behind you, all around you. Okay? I don't want you to forget that. So when, like you got your day and you may be going through a rough season and you go, man, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what my identity is. That's what you're telling yourself. You don't know what your identity is. Remember, You're always a child of God. Even though you were a sinner, the Bible tells us that Christ still died for us, even when we were still sinners. So remember that we serve a God who loves us unconditionally with a love that we can't even fathom. How awesome is that to carry into your day? So I'm hoping this hits you where it counts. And remember, please, when I put this link down the bottom, please click on this sermon, because it is a very powerful sermon to listen to, especially if you're going through a rough time and you need to find your identity. Pastor Jamie's an awesome man. Y'all need to listen to him. So, welcome in to the football part of faith and football. Remember, we always put faith first because, hey, football is good, but God is always greater. Okay? So, what are we talking about today, aside from my sponsors? And we'll hit them off real quick. Remember, we got Thanksgiving coming up, guys. You might need a little something for the dinner table. Maybe you need to bring a side. Maybe you need to bring a sweet. I got you covered with both of them. If you need a side, there's nothing better than getting some corn grits from Zia. That's right, Zia of Lafayette. If you are in that area, please put your order in now. Get you about, 3-4 quarts of corn grits. Bring them to dinner. They are absolutely phenomenal. You can heat them up in the oven. You'll be good to go. Okay, you can find them on Duce Road, behind the Ambassador or the Johnson Street Grand Theater, in front of Red Laurel's Health Club. You can call them 406-0013 or find them on Waiter or DoorDash. Look, they're going to be closed on Thursday, so make sure you get your order in for Wednesday. Go pick it up. It'll keep in the fridge. You're good. Throw it in the oven when you get there, or before the family comes over. If you're having Thanksgiving at your house like I am, I'm going to be busy. But I'm not going to be too busy for you guys. I'm going to try to put out a Tuesday show ahead of Thursday. So we're going to try to cram everything in on Tuesday's show, because I will be cooking and entertaining on Wednesday and Thursday. So, plus I got a job. And the wife has a job. So, we're going to be busy this week. Anyway, or this coming week. Sorry, next week. I'm busy this week too, if you can't tell. So anyway, so if you need some sides down there, they also got some really good collards. So if you like some collard greens, a little bacon in it, it's awesome. Go get you some. If you want to bring a little something extra, hey, we all know that the in-laws might have a little dry turkey. Maybe you might want to bring some rotisserie chicken with you too. You never know. Could be a lifesaver. Just maybe stick it in the fridge before you leave so you got something to eat when you come home. Anyway, as far as the sweets go, guys, I got you covered. Not only can you go down to Keller's Bakery at 627 Lafayette Street off the Youngsville Highway. If you mention that Faith and Football sent you, you get you 2 free mini cupcakes, and go pick you up a pie. Pick you up a cake. If you're early enough, pick you up some donuts, and you munch them on the way. So, but like I say, go down there, see all the guys down there. If you see my boy Dusty, tell him coming for him. He beat me last week. Kind of had a little bad luck with Brandon Ayuk. Of course, they wanted to run the ball more, but that's beside the point. But they're good guys down there. They make absolutely phenomenal desserts. So if you're in the mood, you need to go down there and pick you up some. You can find them on Facebook. Place your order there, but make sure you do it on Wednesday. I don't believe they're open on Thursday. So go down and see them. Tell them Faith and Football sent you. Get you 2 free mini cupcakes and enjoy on me. So what are we getting into today? Well, we're going to be getting into a little buy low, sell high. We're going to talk about some trades because, look, between you and I, the waiver wire is atrocious. It is absolute hot mess. You don't want to touch it. There's really not a whole lot on it. maybe if you're looking for a QB, there's only 2 teams on a bye this week. There's Denver and the Rams, but that carries a whole lot of fantasy implications because you're losing Stafford, even though he didn't play great against San Fran on Monday night. I know. But between you and I is the Odell Beckham curse. But that's just my thought. We'll see how that pans out later. You lost Robert Woods for the season due to an ACL blowout. So he's gone. You're losing Van Jefferson. If you were holding Odell, then you lost him too. But it's probably good for Odell that he comes right now, just for the simple fact that he'll have time to get acclimated to be able to, integrate him into the system a little better. And we'll really see what he's about with that offense next week, week 12, after they get off the bye week. As far as Denver goes, look, you're missing Fant at tight end. You're missing Gordon and Javonte Williams. You're missing Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. All those guys are going to be looking to replace. So now's the time, if you are looking to trade, if you're hurting at running back, go to the guy, or if you see that the guy who has Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams, the guy who has Darrell Henderson, if they are needing a win, if they're struggling, and look, we're getting closer to the playoffs, okay? We're only like 4 weeks away. We've got 1 month until playoffs start. So you're making that last-minute push. Maybe you're jockeying for position. Maybe this is really going to hurt your chances. Now is the time to go to that manager and buy low, because you can take advantage of the desperation for that team. Get something that'll help your team down the stretch run. Now, one thing you do want to consider when you're making trades, and I always make sure that try to mention this, is that the players that have added value are players that have already gone past their bye week. So if you're trading a player who has a bye coming up, if you're giving that player away, you're getting a better value back, as long as that player that you're getting back has gone past their bye week. Okay, because you're getting an extra game out of that player. Okay, let's hit some news real quick. Let's see. Damon Harris had been removed from the injury report. So everyone who ran out and got Ramondre Stevenson, hold on to him. We don't know. This is a short week. We've got New England and Atlanta playing tonight on the Thursday night game. So if you got any of your Falcons, I'm sorry. Cordell Patterson, we're not sure about his status yet. That hasn't been, as of right now, I don't have any information on that. So make sure you keep an eye out to see if he is playing, if he is good to go. If this was a minor injury, you probably go ahead and start him, okay? Because they're going to need some passing. They're going to be down. They're going to be losing. You can get some garbage time work out of Cordell Patterson, because what's probably going to wind up happening is that they're going to try to take away Kyle Pitts, their only other pass catching option. Gage hadn't really been doing that much. Matty Ice looks like he's melted, which is kind of ironic because we're hitting the colder months. But you know what I mean. As far as that goes, I would definitely try to, if you're hurting at quarterback, let's say that you had let's say you were really hurting and you were starting Teddy B, he's on a bye, or you were kind of hurting and you don't have a backup to Matt Stafford. Look, Mac Jones can be a very serviceable backup quarterback right now this week, because he gets Atlanta's defense, which is absolutely horrible. And if you happen to go out and get Kendrick Bourne off the waiver wire, apparently that's Mac Jones's boy. So you might want to double that up. You got a nice little stack going into Thursday night. Get a little jump start on the week. These are all Wednesday injury reports and camp reports. So I really don't like I've said before, I really don't put a whole lot of stock in it. It's when it continues throughout the week that you need to start paying attention to it. But guys who are on here, Chris Carson was sidelined again for the Seahawks, so that's something to keep an eye on. Pete Carroll's kind of tricky with this because he'll keep a guy on the bench even though he knows that, he doesn't need practice to play, and Chris Carson fits that bill. Good news for the Saints. Alvin Kamara was back participating in the early portion of practice open to the media. However, we didn't see Teron Armstead or Ryan Ramczyk, which are the left and right tackles, but both have played after resting early in the week before, so keep an eye out for that. Okay, guys? CEH owners, bad news. You still got a couple of more weeks before you can see CEH on the field. So, Darrell Williams owners, congratulations. You get a little more time with your darling in the backfield. Apparently, Antonio Brown is feeling better, posted to Instagram his first day running. That does not mean to fire him up because he probably will not be serviceable. Well, he might be serviceable for Monday night's game against the Giants, but you need to have a pivot. If that's your go-to, if he's like your wide receiver 2 or you want to put him in your flex, you need to have a pivot. And while I'm mentioning it, make sure that all of your Thursday night players are out of your flex, okay? Let's see. Kareem Hunt is out for week 11, but he's getting close, so keep an eye out for that one. Ricky Seals-Jones is dealing with hip, did not practice on Wednesday. Lamar Jackson was sent home with an illness, not COVID-related. Miles Sanders has been designated to return from IR. So that's good news. Bad news for Jordan Howard owners. Let's see. Aaron Jones is banged up, and they brought in Kerryon Johnson. This is really baffling news right here for me. The Jets are rolling out Joey Flacco because he can deal better with the blitz of a Miami defense that's not all that good in the first place. Robert Saleh, what are you doing? You're killing me. To borrow a phrase from one of my favorite movies, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Look, I got Michael Carter, and Michael Carter is best with Mike White. Watch way too many fantasy footballers. But Mike White is a check down machine. Okay. Now, another guy you might want to go take a look at is Elijah Moore while we're mentioning Jets. Let's see. Make sure I cover everything for you guys. And if you're wondering, my news is brought to you by Sleeper. No, they're not a sponsor, but if you're listening, I would love a sponsorship. That would be awesome. Anyway, DeAndre Swift was limited in practice with a new shoulder injury, so that's something to keep an eye on. But they could just be resting him. Damon Harris has been removed. Claypool gets in a limited practice on Wednesday. That's really minor news. Look, Big Ben's got a noodle arm right now, so the only pass catching options, as far as I'm concerned in Pittsburgh, is Deontay Johnson, Najee Harris out of the backfield, and Pat Freiermuth, the tight end. Allen Robinson misses practice with a hamstring injury. My guess, look, I know that Allen Robinson probably doesn't watch this, and he'll probably never hear this, but dude, I feel for you. And if you want to sit out the rest of the season, I'm down with that. Primarily because you deserve better, and secondarily because I just acquired Darnell Mooney. So apparently him and Justin Fields have a kumbaya relationship, so they're all good. And I can't wait to fire him up. Marquise Brown did not practice Wednesday. Aaron Rodgers missed practice on Wednesday. They're saying a toe injury, and that's all I got for you guys. Now, as far as Marquise Hollywood Brown not practicing on Wednesday, this is probably just rest. If something happens later in the week, please make sure that you're paying attention to it. As far as Aaron Rodgers goes, your guess on this is as good as mine. If he's ticked off again, I don't know what to tell you. Go out and make sure you got a backup quarterback to pivot to just in case. So, okay, so let's go down real quick. We talked about the Patriots and the Falcons on Thursday night. We got a rematch or a revenge game on both sides with Washington and the Panthers. Cam Newton's back, guys. Or in his words, he's back. Sorry, couldn't resist. But anyway, look, is Cam Newton washed? Is he rejuvenated? Don't really know. But what I do know is he's a better option than P.J. Walker. So he's a better option than P.J. Walker. He definitely does wonders for Christian McCaffrey owners. Loving that. What he will do for Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore is yet to be seen. But against a Washington defense that just got done beating the Bucs, have they turned a corner? Did they find a switch? Let's find out. But yeah, against Washington, on paper, it's a really good matchup. And sorry, I need a haircut. It was getting to me. Anyway, as far as the Washington aspect of this goes, you've probably got one more really high game in store for Antonio Gibson. He looked really, really good last game. So if you want to sell high on him, I can definitely understand that. Especially one of my sell highs was Michael Carter. I'm replacing him with Antonio Gibson. And we'll get to that in just a second. Colts and the Bills. Look, it's going to be a rough matchup for Jonathan Taylor, but trust in the talent and the volume. Okay. This is going to be a rough matchup for Michael Pittman owners because they're going to want to run the ball. Now, if the Bills get out to a start where we know that they're capable of, this could also be a really good matchup for Michael Pittman, just for the simple fact that you do have T.Y. Hilton back. So he's going to draw some attention. They're not going to be able to double both of them. And, of course, Pittman has already carved out his number one niche with Carson Wentz. So, but the Bills' defense is absolutely phenomenal. It's going to – pardon me. This could be a really good matchup. Let's see here. Sorry about that, guys. Had to go get a little something. Throat got a little dry. We're drinking. There it is. Wild and watermelon today. And again, Bang, if you're listening, I love your product. Wild and watermelon's kicking. And a whole lot of chocolate, Chaka, it's not too bad either, surprisingly. Had a little bit of that the other day. So let's see. Ravens, Bears. I'm loving this matchup. I just traded for Lamar Jackson. I know. Somebody got rid of him. We'll go through that here in a second. I'm loving this matchup. There's going to be a whole lot of passing for Lamar in this one. Possibly a lot of running too. Browns, Lions. I'm really not excited about this game. The Browns looked like garbage against New England last week, and the Lions were the Lions. Fortunately, they didn't lose last week. Bad news is they didn't win either. They played to a 16-16 tie, and anybody who watched this, look, if you have any kind of a soul, if you have any kind of humanity whatsoever, you are absolutely crying, dying for the Lions to get a win. I don't care against who. I would love to see them get a win against the Browns because it would just be that much funnier for it to be against the Browns. So anyway, the Texans and the Titans, look, if you got Ryan Tannehill, unless you've got a better option, fire him up this week, please. Going against the Texans, this is an absolute smash play. Also, if you got, A.J. Brown's going to be in there for you. So all of your Titans, fire them up. They get the Texans. We're going to pick on the Texans all year long until they show us different. Pardon me. Packers, Vikes. This one could get ugly quick. If Aaron Rodgers does play, this could be a really scoring bonanza. The Packers defense has actually looked decent. I don't like the matchup for Kirk Cousins, but we know how, as long as this is not a primetime game, Kirk's good. Well, when it's primetime is when he has issues. Okay. Jets, Dolphins, divisional matchup, going in with Flacco. Look, I just don't like Joey Flacco. It's a personal thing. I don't care that much for him as a fantasy quarterback. If you have the Dolphins defense, okay, I'm down. You want to start him against Joey Flacco? I understand. On the Jets side of the ball, look, Elijah Moore has been absolutely killing it. Also, Michael Carter. I love Carter. I do. I just love Michael Carter. I think he's a really good back. I think he's a really good late option for you if you're hurting at running back, which a lot of people are. Saints, Eagles. Saints defense is not as bad as what people think it is. Devontae Smith, you might want to temper your expectations because he's going to draw Marshawn Lattimore. And I'm not really sure how the rookie's going to do against a veteran like that. Plus the fact that if Miles Sanders comes back this week, they're going to be leaning more on the run game. Alvin Kamara could be back in this game as well. If he is, then it's going to be a split between he and Mark Ingram, with Mark Ingram probably stealing a couple of touchdowns from him. So that's going to be heartbreaking for you as well. Now, this next game, remember what I was talking about Houston? This goes double for the Jags. Jags draw the Niners, and we just saw what they did against the Rams. Now, here's the thing. The run game, they ran 40-plus times as opposed to passing it half the time. Okay, it was almost a perfect split. I watched the game, fortunately, because I had to, again, with Brandon Ayuk is my last player to go and my hopes resting on him. But I really do think that this week it's going to be a little more passing. So Debo, you're going to fire him up. Even Brandon Ayuk, you could probably fire up as well. The Jags, look, the only player that I want on the Jags is James Robinson. Okay. This guy is getting all of the touches. Every once in a while, he's losing a couple to Carlos Hyde, but that's about it. Let's see. Bengals, Raiders. I like all the Bengals. The Raiders, I don't know what to make of them. They just got destroyed by the Chiefs when they normally kept it close with the Chiefs. You do get the Cowboys and Chiefs. This game, with the Cowboys and Chiefs, it's a late game, but it's more than likely going to be a very high-scoring game, okay? So fire up all your Chiefs, fire up all your Cowboys. I know trust me, it pains me to say that. Cardinals, Seahawks, possibly without Kyler Murray again, and one more game without Chase Edmonds. So if you've got James Conner, go ahead and fire him up. You can get one more good game out of him. And then he's definitely a sell high candidate, okay? If you want to go ahead and do it this week, cool, I'm down. Remember, it's better to be a week early on a player than a week late, because you can get more right now. Because if you go to the team who's got Henderson, Gordon, and Javonte Williams, if they're relying on them and they're missing somebody, you can probably get somebody really, really decent out of them, because they're probably a little heavy at wide receiver. If you're stacked at running back, because remember, it's very important. Look at what you're stacked at and look at what the other team is stacked at, and then get the opposite, okay? Steelers, Chargers. The Chargers, they're not a good run defense. So you're looking at Najee Harris on this one. Najee is just an absolute stud. He's a smash start every single week. You cannot sit this guy. Deontay Johnson, also fire him up. Pat Freiermuth, if you need help at tight end, if you're missing Higbee or you're missing Noah Fant this week, Pat Freiermuth is probably on your waiver wire. Make sure you go check that out, because your waivers have already passed. Somebody might have dropped him. Somebody might have just had him for 1 week. They needed somebody else. Their tight end was on bye or whatever. So Monday night, we're talking about Giants and Bucks. Look, this is going to be a bounce back game for Tom Brady and the Bucks. Probably no AB, or a very limited version thereof. So you got Godwin, Evans, probably no Gronk once again, but wait later in the week to see how that rolls out. Make sure you're keeping an eye on Friday's practice reports, because those are the last practice reports of the week. As far as the Giants go, I just traded away Saquon, but the Bucs run defense has kind of been slacking as of late. So if you have Saquon, of course, you've got to roll him out. There's just way too much upside. The wild card in this one that I'm really, really anxious to see is Kadarius Toney. He might be on your waiver wire like he was in my league, and I was able to pick him up for nothing. So people forgot about him. The Giants are coming off of a bye. He's healthier. He's had a week to heal up that ankle. So I'm really, really excited to see Kadarius Toney on Monday night against the Bucs, who have an absolutely horrible pass defense. Their run defense is good, but they just lost Vea. So, look, I'm looking for Daniel Jones to ball out on Monday night. My take on Daniel Jones is he is the anti-Kirk Cousins. If it's prime time, he's shining. If it's any other time, he's dying. So, think about it like that when you're making your decisions on the Bucs and the Giants. Okay. So, I'm trying to keep an eye on time. I still got to go to work. Anyway. So who are we selling high and who are we buying low on? Let's start with the sell high. Look, I'm going to sell high on Tom Brady. Look, I know it's Tom Brady. He had an off week last week against Washington. Sorry, I still got to gloat. But it's still Tom Brady, okay? He still got the name recognition. Everybody is still cognizant of what he can do, okay? And he's still like top 3 fantasy quarterback. So you can sell high on him because I know everybody's been saying this. Sooner or later, it's going to fall off. But also, they're figuring out how to stop Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, okay, Justin Herbert. All these guys have been recently shut down. Tom just got shut down by Washington. Washington's defense has been horrible this year. So sell high while you can. I mean, if 9 times out of 10, if you've got Tom Brady, if you drafted him as your backup. If you're hurting in other positions, use your assets. Make yourself better going into this playoff run. Look, we talked about running back. We talked about how Michael Carter was a sell high. Look, with the games that they're playing with at quarterback, is Zach Wilson going to come back and be the starter? Is Mike White the new starter? Is Johnson going to split time with White? Is Joey Flacco the answer for the rest of the season? Really? Like, I don't want to play those games right now. But Michael Carter still has that aura of that 30-point game that he put up with Mike White. And as long as Mike White is still a viable option for them to play, there's still a little weight to that. So you can sell high on Michael Carter. You might have to package him with someone else in order to get someone decent. But I'm telling you right now, there's still value with Michael Carter, okay? Mark Ingram. Look, his value when Kamara comes back is going to drop a little bit, okay? But he is a goal line machine, okay? If you go right now, like I said, to anybody who's got any of the Denver running backs or anybody who's got Henderson from the Rams, this week they're hurting. If Kamara comes back this week, there's still an if. Before it becomes a definite, you need to make a move. I got my wide receiver sell high. I was struggling with this one. Deebo Samuel. Look, Deebo's been uber targeted, okay? Highly targeted for Jimmy Garoppolo, okay? Now, the Niners looked really good against a really bad defense with the Rams. The Rams are a really good defense. They just had an off night. So can you turn Deebo into something? Yes. But this is what I'm saying about sell high. You need to get value back. Okay, now I don't know what your league is. I don't know how it's set up, and I don't know who's available. Okay, and I don't know where you're hurting. But hit me up on Twitter at Faith, the letter N, football 1. Okay, so it's Faith in football 1 on Twitter. Ask me the questions, but give me some context to your question. Make sure that you're including what your league format, your scoring format is, and who you're going after. Okay, maybe what you're hurting at. Okay, and I can help you out with that. Tight end to target as a sell high, TJ Hawkinson. Look, he's still carrying name recognition, and he's still got the ability to break out, but it's with the Lions. They're not going to score a whole lot of points. You can get somebody better, okay? You can stream someone better. You can go get Pat Freiermuth right now. At least he's not targeted. TJ Hawkinson gets targeted by defenses because he's the only option in Detroit for passing, okay? That's why DeAndre Swift is so good in the passing game, because he's another option. So buy low on. Who are we buying low on? Look, this is a little easier for me. I love deals. I shop clearance constantly, okay? So buying low is kind of my wheelhouse. Russell Wilson coming off of an absolute horrible game. Look, we did not think that he was going to get shut down. Him and Aaron Rodgers looked atrocious going up against each other, okay? Russell Wilson got shut out. And if you watch the game, look, you know that they rushed him back. Okay. That finger's still giving him problems, but it's going to get better. Okay. They're going to have a week to work on it. He's going to get better. Might not be this week. Let's see. They're playing the Cardinals. It's going to be rough this week. You can definitely get in and buy low on Russell Wilson, even after this week. If the manager who is holding Russell Wilson right now will not get off of him, he probably will definitely get off of him after this week, after they face the Cardinals. So offer him something now that's comparable. Make it a fair trade. Make it something that he'll look at and go, you know what? I probably should take this. And then when next week rolls around, if Russell has another bad game, maybe hit a little lower and him, man, I should have taken last week's deal. Man, this is probably the best I can get. Have some communication. Look, just because someone rejects an offer doesn't mean they don't want a deal. It just means that you haven't hit their right price. Okay? So take that into negotiation with you. Next up, Derek Carr. Listen, Derek Carr rest of season looks really, really good. Let me pull him up real quick for you. Okay, so Derek Carr last week, 22 points. Now this week he gets Cincinnati. Next week he gets Dallas. He's already passed his bye. Had his bye in week 8. He's got a 3-game stretch where he goes Washington, KC, and Cleveland. Okay, Washington. Look, they're not that good. Sorry. I know I'm talking bad about my boys, but it's like family. You can talk bad about them, but don't let anybody else. KC, look, KC's defense is garbage. Okay. They can get passed on. Cleveland, we just saw Mac Jones have a killer day against Cleveland. Okay. Then he gets Denver, and for championship week, he gets Indy. Come on, Indy. They're bad against the pass. So, to get you into the playoffs, to get you to the championship, yes, you can rely on Derek Carr rest of the season. Next up, running back. Saquon versus the Bucs. Look, it might not be great this week, but next week, he's got the next 3 games after that. We're going to run those down for you real quick right here. The next 3 games, he gets Philly, Miami, and the Chargers. Then he gets Dallas. Okay. Week 16, he gets Philly again. Okay. Yes, it's Saquon. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he could get hurt again. But provided that everything is healthy and good for him, look, if you had Saquon, if you drafted him and you stuck with him this long and you have an opportunity to play him, you're going to play him. If you traded for him, you've already got backup behind him, so you're good in case he gets hurt. But against these matchups, you're definitely playing him for the rest of the season to get you into the playoffs. After you're in, yeah, rely on your other guys. You're good. Look at their schedule. See who's got the best matchup. And remember, we preach environmental roster management. What does that mean? Looking around at the environment. Who's this matchup? Okay, go with the matchup. You draft a talent, but you start the matchup. You play the matchup. Okay. Next up, Aaron Jones. Look, he's dinged up. He's hurt. I get it. but you need a solid roster to go after him. Okay, if you got solid running back play right now, take one of your bench receivers, go offer it to the manager who's got Aaron Jones. Take another one of your second tier running backs, somebody who's got a little bit of production to him. They have to go after him. You offer a 2-for-1 for Aaron Jones, you're probably going to get it. Next up, Brandon Ayuk. Look, I know what Ayuk did last week. Trust me, I know what he did. 5 points. It's horrible. He missed a touchdown by like 5 yards. That would have been a game changer, not only for me, but for his outlook. Okay? So take a look at it. I'm telling you, Brandon Ayuk, look, if Debo gets hurt, who else is going to be there? It's going to be Brandon Ayuk. Yes, George Kittle is back. Okay? But I'm telling you, Brandon Ayuk is at least worth a stash. It's not going to cost you anything, especially after the performance Monday night. Noah Fant, look, he's got a bye this week, but his rest of the season looks really, really good. Pull this up real quick. Okay, he's got a bye this week. He's only got he's got two matchups that they're calling tough, but they're not. He's got the Chargers. Then he's got KC, Detroit, Cincinnati, Vegas, and the Chargers again for championship week. Look, guys, I don't know what better matchups you want for a tight end than that, okay? He's definitely going to give you the production. Now, for your defenses this week, for your streamers, I'm going to give you this. Give you Cleveland versus Detroit. Look, Jared Goff has been playing like hot garbage in the Motor City. He's a clunker running on like just fumes right now, okay? He's still running on leaded gasoline. That's how bad this dude is going right now. He's garbage. The team's garbage. They're not scoring a lot of points. Cleveland's ticked off that they got embarrassed by a rookie quarterback. So they're definitely looking for a revenge, for a bounce back against a really bad Lions team. So Cleveland against Detroit, definitely a smash for your defense. Now, who am I looking for a streamer? I already mentioned him. Mac Jones looks really, really good. So Mac Jones tonight against Atlanta, make sure you get in it. Guys, that's all the time I got. I hope this was helpful. I hope you're seeing this in time to help you with Thursday night matchup. But remember, you can always hit me up down at the bottom of the comments section. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. And find me on Twitter at Faith, the letter N, Football 1. Till next time, my name is Neil. This is Faith in Football, where remember, football's good, but God is always greater. You guys have a blessed weekend. Good luck in your matchups. Always praying for you.